No, it's not Transformers, but it is a giant transforming robot introduced by none other than Peter Optimus Prime Cullen. So you can be forgiven for mistaking the two. Good morning, everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in. This here is Super Saturday, the show where we discuss all things super and awesome. And you may have noticed we have moved up the show's airtime to Saturday morning. We all can thank my wife for that. She made this suggestion and it made perfect sense, as she usually does. So here we are. Now, Toei Animation brought us innumerable gems throughout the years, not the least of which were Beast King Go Lion from 1981 and 1982, to Armored Fleet Die Ruger 15 from 1982 to 1983. Both ran 52 episodes and followed a team of explorers on their adventures to save the universe from a great evil. Both centered around a giant mech, too, conveniently enough. But what do these two shows have to do with today's subject? Well, it turns out they are today's subject. Sort of. Voltron, Defender of the Universe as I knew it, catching scattered episodes on the satellite dish, was yet another cobbled together edit of a popular Japanese show. Interestingly, Voltron was intended to be an adaptation of an entirely different Toei show, Future Robot Daltonius. I hope I pronounced that right. That one's tough. You see, the company over here in the States responsible for bringing all this to our shores was World Events Productions, at that time a tiny little office in St. Louis, Missouri. It was founded in 1980 by Ted Koppler. Keep that name in mind. As a bit of trivia, WEP started out covering current events and pivoted to kickboxing in 1982. It wasn't until 83 when Koppler was at a science fiction convention that he got exposed to anime and wanted in on the gig. They reached out to Toei and got the ball rolling. What they wanted was future robot Daltonius. However, when World Events requested the master tapes from Toei, they didn't speak a lick of Japanese, and the Japanese spoke very little English. At some point in the conversation, WP asked for the Lion one. Toei thought they must mean Beast King Go Lion for obvious reasons, and sent over that series. Once World Events got the tapes, they liked Go Lion way more than Daltonius and decided to run with what they had. Koppler stated in interviews that Go Lion was more appealing to him for its rich, colorful aesthetics and that he didn't need to speak a word of Japanese to follow the story. Tossing aside the need to translate the episodes at all, Koppler had Jameson Brewer simply rewrite the entire thing from scratch, and the team went from there. This would be adapted into the first run of Voltron, which is referred to as Lion Force Voltron. Koppler brought on Peter Keefe as executive producer with Franklin Kofod as director, and the series was a massive hit here in the States, just a runaway success. The popularity of the show would go on to spawn innumerable spin-offs, one-shots, comics, video games, and most importantly, toys.
From days of long ago comes a legend, the legend of Voltron, defender of the universe. 5 fearless lion robots. Black Lion, Green Lion, Yellow Lion, Red Lion, Blue Lion.
Go, Voltron Force!
Who together form Voltron. Lion sets each sold separately from Matchbox.
Man, that robot voice at the end just takes me right back. But anywho, Voltron Series 1, or I guess you could say Season 1, ran 52 episodes and was by far the more popular run. However, by now Koppler knew he had a problem on his hands. With the runaway success of the series, he absolutely had to follow it up, but with what? They were squeezing the Go Lion episodes for all they were worth, but that well was running pretty dry. Enter Armored Fleet Die Ruger 15. Wow, that is a mouthful. Feel free to make any That's What She Said jokes in the comments below. Die Ruger was another show World Event had originally put on their wish list to adapt over here for Western audiences. It officially ran 56 episodes, but was really just 52 with 4 recap episodes. Just like Go Lion, this was also a mecha anime series about explorers having to save the universe. This second run would be termed Vehicle Team Voltron. Lion Force ran from September of 84 to November, while Vehicle ran from December of that same year until February of 85. Now, the first season was all about protecting the planet Eris from Warlord King Zarkon and his army of Robies. With Vehicle Voltron Season 2, we switched to the problem of overcrowding on the Galaxy Alliance worlds and their search for new worlds to colonize, and the resulting territorial disputes with the Drool Empire. Lion Force Voltron just had their one team, like the anime it was based on. However, this time we would have three teams, one for land, one for sea, and one for air. Each team combined into their own robot to handle their own little niche areas of expertise. This run was not nearly as popular as the first, but that didn't stop the train running. In September of '86, we got Voltron Fleet of Doom. This was a brand new work commissioned from Toei, as WP had ran through all the Go Lion and Dairuger footage and needed more. We had both runs of teams all smashed together taking on King Zarkon, who had aligned himself with the remnants of the Drool Empire and created the titular Fleet of Doom. This was a 46-minute one-shot story, but beware. If you're trying to find it, it's its own beast. It's not part of any complete DVD set to my knowledge. So make sure what you're buying either includes it or special order it by itself, which is cheap as can be online. The late 90s gave us a sequel of sorts with Voltron the Third Dimension. Many voice actors returned to reprise their roles, however, the original animation look was abandoned. Instead, nightmarish late 90s CGI filled in. Apologies to any fans of late late 90s CGI there. In spite of the drastic art change, the show did run 2 seasons totaling 26 episodes. Nicktoons then gave us Voltron Force in 2011, many years later, running one season with 26 episodes. They returned to animation with this one, but Western this time with a smattering of CGI assets hidden in there. And finally, a coalition between DreamWorks, WEP, and South Korean animation studio named Mir combined to form Voltron Legendary Defender. This series, I felt, returned most closely to the original animation and at the same time kept that goofy, nice, warm tone, too. The animated characters are offset by CGI vehicles, and it felt a little jarring to me in the scenes I saw. Not bad, but obviously that the characters and the vehicles were rendered quite differently. However, that's an animation trend that's been going strong for a while now, so I don't see that changing anytime soon. Also, not as frenetic and violent as we were accustomed to back in the '80s, there's still nonetheless action to be had. It appears to have been the most popular of the original Voltron spin offs, spawning 8 seasons and comic books and action figures, and most importantly, toys.
DreamWorks Voltron, the legendary Lions of Voltron are under attack. Battle packs on and activated. Fire your weapon. Only the power of 5 can stop Zarkon.
Form Voltron! Yellow Lion engaged!
Red Lion, ready for battle!
Green Lion, go!
Combine all 5 lions and unlock new phrases.
Great work, team!
DreamWorks Voltron, Legendary Defender. Now streaming on Netflix. Legendary Lions each sold separately. Collect all 5 to create Voltron from Playmates.
There's even been talk for years about a live-action film release, but at the time of this video, that has yet to see the light of day. What we do have is numerous collected volumes spanning the entire run of the show in its many incarnations, dirt cheap and easy to obtain. Also, just as an FYI, you can find darn near everything here on YouTube too, so bear that in mind. Try before you buy, y'all. But definitely get your physical media. Comic appearances have been sporadic. We had the Charlton comics back in '85. Image did a 5-issue run back in 2002 that was to keep going after issue 5, but sputtered out after the 11th, just due to poor sales. This has all been collected into an omnibus since then. The company behind this run, Devil's Due, tried again for a 5-issue limited series in 2008. And in 2011, Dynamite obtained the rights and put something out back in 2015 called Voltron From the Ashes. Nothing since then as far as I'm aware. Oddly, there have also been a pair of video games, one by Sony back in 2011 and another by an indie game studio, Gabanga, in 2019. Now, in its various incarnations, Voltron has always been a mighty defender, loved by good, feared by evil, and that's how I was introduced to it back in the '80s, and that's how I'll always see it, regardless of the sporadic reboots and restarts and everything else, because you can fiddle with the animation and you can change the soundtrack, but the story at its core remains. That's about all we got time for this here Saturday. I do appreciate everyone tuning in, giving me your time. Now, Go find yourself a cartoon of your own to put in. It's Saturday, y'all. Keep the tradition alive. While you're at it, pop in a good movie, read a comic, gather around the table, roll some dice, make some memories, drink a little water, and as always, have a good